Next, we will see the custom function. This is very important one. The function, the custom function is common in almost all the programming languages. In almost, this is not specific to Power BI. It is also called a user-defined function. We have seen text.start and we have seen text.combine. We have seen the text.from. The built-in, those are called built-in functions. Those functions already created by Microsoft as part of Power Query Editor. Okay. And so we don't have to, we have to just reuse their function, built-in function. There are situations we have to create our own function. Okay. Not all the time the built-in functions are helpful. So there are scenarios we need to create our own custom functions. So what kind of scenarios can I create custom function? First of all, what is custom function? And what do I need to use custom function? And how do I use the custom function? The custom function, it allows us to create the reusable code. The interview, they'll ask you, if they are, the interview, they'll expect you to be good at all the concepts. Okay. But also, they will expect you, what they'll expect, what value you can bring it to their table. If I recruit, see, if you say you are a 3+ years experienced person in the market, a lot of people are available. Why should I recruit you? So apart from the report creation and dashboard creation, everything, right? If you say something like that, I have created reusable component that will improve the productivity. Okay, that is improve. The simple example is the ready mix example. Okay, let's say you want to create your favorite sweet. Okay, so already the ready mix is available in the market. So what you do is you create something like a ready mix and then give it to your families and friends, right? All they have to do is simply open this, unpack this one, and then put it in a water and mix it, and then start prepare the sweet. So they don't have to buy each and every ingredient from the market. That headache is not there. And also in the proper mix of the ingredients, you don't have to break your head, right? Everything is done by someone else, the pre-packaged, and you are going to distribute to people in your team. Okay, something like a custom function. You created a function. This function is a reusable one. Anybody can use it, for their specific requirement. Okay. For example, you want to compute the net salary. Net salary. Okay, this function, you created it, this reusable component, you created it. Okay, so whosoever wants to, let's say you have 100 branches are there. Okay, once you create this function and you tell, you send it to 100 branches, right? So the payroll manager or payroll person simply has to use this function. This one will give you the net salary. If they use it, it will give the net salary. But for this, they need to feed. Okay, this is the basic salary drawn by the employee. This is the HRA, and these are the deductions, loss of pay, and he got some advance amount for us. Every month we need deducted from his salary. The earnings and deductions related values, you need to pass it to this function so that it can just give you the net salary. Okay. So this one who created, let's say you have created it. Since you have created it and then gave it to all the 100 branches, it saves their headache. Okay. It saves time. It saves their time. They don't have to calculate everything manually. Simply they take the columns and pass it to this one. It gives the net salary. That's all. Okay. So this is what, so by doing so, you can improve the productivity. Improve the productivity. That means 100 branches people, they don't have to manually calculate your net salary. So many big formulas are there, right? So let's assume that you take TCS and Accenture, and not only that one, you take other companies, okay? So standard companies, what they do is it's a bigger enterprise, right? They use different components to arrive the net salary. So many things, right? You need to apply the formula, everything. If the salary is less than now 7 lakhs, right? Less than 7 lakhs, there is no tax deduction. If the salary is 7,000 to 12,000, then you have 20% or 25% tax deduction will be there. And if the salary is above 12 lakhs, and so 30% tax deduction will be there. So all these formulas, everything, the complex rule, everything, you put it in the function, you created it and tested it thoroughly, and you give it to the 100 branches. Hey, this is the function I created. Simply you need to use this function. It will give you the net salary. So it will save a lot of their time, isn't it? That is what productivity. So you have created the reusable component that helped improving the productivity of the organization, so that it saves a lot of your employees' time. So that is what, in simple term, the custom function is all about. The custom function, it enables us to encapsulate the complex logic or calculations into a single function. All the other users, what they should do is they have to simply call your function, invoke your function, and apply to their respective data. That's all. They will get the desired output. So what is the advantage? It will improve the productivity, right? You can modularize your data transformation steps, improve code readability, reduce duplication. For example, 5 lakhs employees are there in each branch. So you need to copy the same code again and again, and again to share the same code to others. Instead, simply give the function to all the other branches. That's all. They don't have to duplicate the same code again and again. It saves a lot of time, and also modularity will be there. What do you mean by modularity? When you use function, you can achieve modularity. So what do you mean by modularity? What do you mean by modularity? For example, you are part of a bank. You are a bank staff, okay, and you wanted to, you are offering loan to your customers. So in that case, you are writing a function. Okay, in that function, you have something called loan application module, wherein you verify the eligibility, whether the customer who applied for the loan, is he eligible for the loan, first of all, right? You collect the customer information, verify their eligibility, and performing some basic scanning, right? Screening, basic screening, whether a person, the application is genuine or not, right? Whether he has multiple loans or not, right? So you will create some module, loan application module. It will gather all the loan applicants' details, and then it verifies the eligibility and so on. And then you create another function or module that is called a credit assessment. Okay. So wherein you evaluate the credit worthiness of the loan applicant. So whether analyzing their finance statements, credit history, and so on, right? The risk scores also. Okay. And you have another module wherein you create another custom function. That function does only the approval part. Okay. So this model takes the input from your previous function, the credit assessment function, and from there, right, it makes the final decision whether I can approve the loan to this person or not. And finally, you are going to create another function called loan disbursement. Everything is modularized. Okay, right from creating loan application model. Even for this, you create a separate function. This function does only the initial verification, and then you have something called credit assessment. Okay, credit assessment function. Okay, function or custom function. Okay, instead of saying model, so the function should be modular. You need to create. What is the advantage of creating the functions? It gives you the modularity to the code. Supposing later point in time you change some law, business rule, you can go to the specific function. This is another function, right? Sorry, this is a function. Module is nothing but function. And then let's the approval function, loan approval function. Okay, function. And then you have another function called loan disbursement. When you write your logic by splitting into logically multiple functions, right? Loan distribution function. So what will happen later point in case of any policy changes or something like that, you don't have to make changes to the entire code. So for example, loan application function itself, I need to make some changes to the logic. Then you open this function, you modify only in this place. It is very easier for you to make changes if you write it, in the modular form. Okay. So in that kind of situation, the custom function or the function user defined function, it is also called a user defined function. or very much helpful. Okay, wherever the changes need to, since you have defined your, instead of writing like this, if you write everything in a single function, right? Single function, what will happen is later point in, if you want to make a change to loan application process thing, right? You need to go and check in which line I implemented that logic, right? It's painful. Instead, you can break your complex logic into multiple chunks in terms of functions, and each function performs its own job. Okay, and this function, if you want to change the business logic due to changes in the policy, everything, you can go and make only here, not, don't break your head by going through the entire script. Okay, so and also this one will help you to reduce the redundancy in your code. You don't have to write the code line by line. So what is a custom function? The custom function is a reusable component, so using which you can implement the modularization in your uh, program, and it eliminates the redundancy in your code. Okay, once you create a function and test it, you can share it across the people in your company, or it can be used across the modules, so that it can improve the productivity. It can save the coding time. The same functional, for example, 500 branches are there. Each branch, they need to compute the net salary manually. So there they have to, so sometimes what will happen, they forgot uh, the rule. Okay, if the salary is less than this, greater than this, right, they'll get confused, right? Instead, if you write it in a single function, if you share it to everyone, hey guys, you don't have to compute the net salary. My program will, or my function will compute the net salary on your behalf. All you just tell, you need to pass the each and every employees the basic salary, HRA, the earnings and deductions. It gives you the net salary automatically. Okay, that is what the advantage of using the custom function. Now I'll just show you with one simple example so that you'll be able to understand very quickly. I just okay, fine. So I go back to the Power Query Editor. You have the transform data, click on it here and click on the transform. So it is already, okay, this has got opened already. So now what we are going to do is, I'm going to load another file here, data. Okay, I just click on the home ribbon. Currently, I'm in the Power Query Editor. Here also you can load the data. Click on the new source. And here I just click on the Excel workbook. And here I have something like the EMP salary, right? Employee salary. Hmm. Employee. Okay, I just load this one. Let me see. Not this one. I'll just use another file. I think or I will go here and then I'll check the employee. Okay, employee. Okay, otherwise we'll create one simple Excel file. I don't remember that file. I used it long back. We will create some sample data quickly. Excel. I just press enter. And just click on this. And here I just put, for example, employee name, employee number, and then his name, employee first name, or it's first name, okay, first name, and last name is date of birth, and let's here the basic and HRE, and then here I know loss of pay, LOP, and advance amount. Did he borrow any loan or something like that? Okay, advance amount. That's all. Okay, and here I'll put some sample data here. For example, employee number is 1001, 1002, 1003, and 1004, 1005. I just put here the first name is Ram, Ram Rajasekar, and here Ashok, Ashok, let's Ashok Sekar, something like that. Okay, and here the next one is Divya, Divya Ganesh, and here the next one is okay, Monica. I'll put Monica here, David, and then Robin. And listen, his date of birth is something like that. I don't have to write. Okay, here I just put, I just put something like his basic is 35,000. Some dummy data, okay, 142,000 and 22,000, and here, sorry, 22,000, and here 52,000, and here something like let's say 36,000. Okay, let's give some good salary here. And HRE is let's 10,000, so 9,000, and here 8,000, and here is 20,000, something like that. Okay, and yeah, 12,000. Okay, and 12,000, and then loss of pay. Let's here loss of pay is let's some amount. It is an amount. And let's 2000, because he took leave, he exhausted all his leaves, and some dummy numbers. Okay, advance amount, this guy bought 10,000, this guy bought 5,000. That's all. Rest of them, they did not buy anything. Okay, I just save this as some meaningful name so that you can also net salary employee data. Okay, I just say XLX file. I just select this one. I just scroll down here, that one folder. I just put it here. So I'm going to load this data here. Okay, I just click on this here, and net salary that is there. I just load it here. See, in the real-time scenario, you will have many columns will be there. If you take any company, right? So HRE, basic, and bonus, incentive, likewise, many columns will be there. And calculating in the incentive also, they use different formulas. It is very, little bit complex one, especially when you look at the medium size to larger companies. It is a little bit complex one to get the net salary. Okay, let's wait for a few seconds. It takes some time to load the data here. Here I'm going to click on the sheet here, and I just go and hit OK. So I just rename it as employee salary, something like that. So this is the one. We can see that employee number, first name, last name, date of birth. Date of birth, I did not specify anything intentionally because of the time constraint, other thing. Okay, fine. So now we have advance amount, everything is there, but we wanted to compute the net salary. You assume that. So TCS, right? So some branches they have 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs. Total employees are close to 7.5 lakhs, almost, right? So each branch they have 50,000, 1 lakh. So here what I'm going to do is to compute the net salary, I'm going to create one function. I just keep the cursor somewhere just beneath the queries, somewhere the blank space, right click on it. You will find the new query, and then here you will find something like blank query. Here what I am going to do is I'm going to use the equal sign, and here I just put something like basic basic as number or integer, right? Int. So basic as number, and then HRA as number, comma, okay, and then I just put LOP as number. Basic HRA LOP, that's all right. Do we have anything else? Loss of pay advance amount. Okay, you have something called advance. I just put ADV advance as number. Okay, I just put this. Now you need to use equal sign and greater than sign. Okay, that is called rocket arrow. Rocket arrow. So here what I'll do is I'll just put something like this. Here I say basic plus HRE. That is what your earnings. And then I'm going to use minus. I just put a LOP plus the advance ADV. That's all. Okay. I just press enter. Let us see, does this throw any error? And type identifier is invalid. Okay. That is what the error I'm getting it, because the data type issues. Okay, here yeah, it's a number data type, right? Okay, here the okay, let us go and check the data type for this one also. Just go here HRE basic LOB, but anyhow it's nothing to do with the this function here. Okay, basic as here I need to specify the equal sign, and then I just say the type identifier is invalid. Okay, and here basic plus HRA. Yeah, there is a spelling mistake here. Look here, and I just press enter. Yeah, again here there is a spelling mistake. Number, it should not be like there should not be any spelling mistake. I intentionally did it. Okay, if I put the wrong thing, number is the reserved word. It's a data type, right? You cannot put n number. Okay, so in that case it will throw an error. How to troubleshoot it? You just check whether you have mentioned your syntax. Sorry, the spelling is correct or not. You due to spelling mistake, you will encounter error. Okay. Look here, the moment when I pressed enter after fixing the spelling mistakes, everything, right? So now I can see that for each, these are called parameter, guys. These are called basic HRE, LOP, advanced. These are parameters. You can give any name here, but you give some meaningful name. See, in our data set, the column name for this one is advanced amount, right? Full name. But I have given a small name here. So parameter name can be anything. But this is a reserved word as. Okay. And followed by that, you need to specify the reserved the data type name. Okay. The number data type. If it is a text, you can specify text. If it is a number, you can specify number. Okay. In this case, a number data type. And here inside the parenthesis, I specify the parameters. All these are called parameters. I just clean it. Remember that this is very important. Okay. So even nowadays, the 10th standard student or even 8th standard student in their college, right, school CBSE syllabus, they have the computer science, right? So this is called, even they know that. So this is called your parameter. all these are called your parameter. The parameter name can be anything, but you need to give some meaningful name. Okay. This is a parameter. This is what the data type. Okay. For each parameter, you need to specify the data type, but you need to give the data type followed by as. Okay. This is the reserved word. Okay. That's all. And here what happened? You mentioned about this sign. This is called rocket arrow. Followed by that, you see, this is called your function header. This is your function body. So in the function body, you perform all the computation, basic plus HRA. Here I added these two things. This one, whatever the value I type it here, that one will get copied to this one. Okay. So now you understood what is parameter, right? We just remember only that one. And then I have mentioned the rocket arrow. Here I mentioned the calculation part, right? My formula. Okay. And now when I pressed enter, I could see that, these things, if you don't have any error, you will get like this. If you get any error, you need to fix it. The most of the, causes for the error is the spelling mistake. Okay. You just make sure that you are giving the proper, data type name and followed with as everything. Okay, fine. So now here for 4 parameters, 1, 2, 3, 4 parameters, it is asking me to enter the value. Okay. So for example, in this case, I'm going to enter the basic is 10, let's 1 lakh. And then HRA is 25,000. And then loss of pay is 10,000. Okay. And advance amount he borrowed 20,000. And then if I click on invoke, what will happen is this value will get copied to this function. So this parameter, this value will get copied to this parameter. This value will get copied to this one, and this one will get copied to this one. And finally, this value will get copied here. This value will get copied here. Similarly, the LOP and this one will get copied here. This one will get copied. So initially, this value will get assigned here. So what will happen is behind the scene, right? This 1 lakh will get copied here. Okay, this 1 lakh will get copied here, and this 25,000 will get copied here, and this LOP 10,000 will get copied here, and advance amount 20,000 will get copied here. So you have 10,000, sorry, 1 lakh, and sorry, here we have 1 lakh 25, so 25,000, and you have 10,000. So 10,000. Here you have the 20,000, right? And here what will happen? The 10,000, this one will get copied to the body. Okay. And 10, so 1 lakh plus HR is 25,000. So 1 lakh 25,000 minus these values. That's all, guys. So what is the advantage of this one? Because of we are using parameters here, what will you can specify any value here. If you specify any value, that one will get copied here, and then it does the computation. It will give you the net salary. For any value you give it here, it will give you the net salary. So now I have entered the value for each parameter. For basic, I entered 1 lakh, HR I entered. And so I created the function. This is called your function. How do I create a function? Followed by the equal sign. Inside the parentheses, you need to define all your parameters. Followed by that, you need to specify the data type. And then you need to specify the function body. Right. So followed by this parameter, you need to specify the rocket arrow, and here you need to specify function body. Okay. Here you can specify all your business logic. Okay. Okay. My function is generic one. I can pass any value to this parameter so that it will return the net salary. So I created the function. I just entered the values, but I need to call this function. I need to invoke the function. When I click on this value will get copied automatically to the respective parameters, and that value will get copied here and will give you the net salary. If I click on invoke, what is happening? Let us see. If I click on invoke, look here, 95,000. But it gave me the answer for this, right? Invoked function. When I invoke the function, which means I call the function by passing those values to that specific parameter. Now it gives me 95,000. After computing this, after copy this and computing it, gives me, hey, after deduction, your net salary is 95,000. My function is ready. So you can see the output in the invoked function. And if you want to go back to the previous one, click on the query one. You can see this is the function, right? I just select, right click on it. I rename it with some meaningful name. Net salary, or I just say calculate net salary. I press enter. Now my function is ready. So this function is very generic one. You can pass any value. It will return the net salary. Now we have created a generic function. So now I go back to my employees salary table data set, and here what I do is I'm going to click on the add column. I'm going to use this function. See here, you cannot enter the value for 5 lakh employees manually. You will, it will drive you crazy if you enter each and every. Then what is the point in saying that reusability, all the things, right? Once you create the function, you can test it by passing the value to the parameter and then check whether the net salary is computed correctly. Yes, everything is fine. I created the function, tested it, everything works fine. The calculation is accurate. I go to my data set. Now I'm going to use this function in this data set. So how do I use that? I just go here. I'm going to say invoke custom function. I'm going to click on this. This is where I'm going to use the function, the user defined function or the custom function which I created in my data set. So here I'm going to create a new column. That column name is your net salary. Next one, it will ask you, you want to use a function, which function you want to use it? Click on the drop down. Look here, this is the calculate salary function that I created it already, right? It is available here. I picked up the correct function which I want to use it. The next one is the parameters for this. Here you can see basic here, right? Basic HRE, all the parameters, you can see it here. If you click on the drop down, you will find the decimal number column name. If you use the decimal number, you can specify, basic is 1 lakh. So can you type 5 lakh employees basic salary like this, one after the other? It's painful thing, right? Click on the drop down, column name you selected, and you can see there is a column by the name of basic is available here, right? You select this column here, and then HRA, click on it, and then you select the, use the column name. What we are telling the custom function here is, hey, use the column name, okay? And then I just say the HRA here. From this column, you pick up the value for the HRA parameter. From this column, you pick up the value for the basic parameter. And loss of pay, I just show here, loss of pay, what I do is I just click on this one here, column name, and LOP, and advance amount is a column name. Select here advance amount. That's all, guys. For each parameter, so this parameter name can be anything, but I have mapped the appropriate column for each parameter here. Look here the parameter is advance, right? But I have selected the column advance amount and LOP. So what happens is, for these 4 columns, I'm passing it to these 4 different parameters as an argument. It will pick up each and every row value from this data set. Okay, and then it gives you the net salary for each and every employee automatically. I just hit OK now. Guys, you see here in a matter of second, everything is ready. Okay, I'm getting some error. We'll check what is wrong here. Type value. We cannot convert the value null to type number. Okay, I just go back here, invoke to custom column. I just go and check what is null. We have advanced amount, null is there, right? You need to do some data pre-processing before you call that function. I just say replace values by wherever null is there, right? Okay, what I will do is I just insert this step here, replace values. Wherever null is there, because of the null, we are getting that error. Replace the null by 0. Because a numeric data type, you just put 0 so that it will pick up automatically. And now also it is giving an error. I just click on the net salary again. It says type to number. And we will have to go back and check, are there any place we have null value here? In this specifically, HRA, LOP, and advanced amount only we have error, right? So what I will do is I just go the net, I just click and I just undo this and I just redo it one more time. Net salary, I just, yeah, so this column, I just delete it. Yeah, invoke custom function one more time, but still it is giving that error. I just delete it and yeah, because sorry guys. Okay, the replaced value, you should have done it before calling the function, right? Ideally, the replaced value should have dragged and just dragged above the function, okay? Okay, but here now, see, now I did the data cleaning also, because wherever the null is there, if you apply the function thrown error, first replace the null by 0, fine. And we see a basic HRE, LOP, everything else has some, data in it. But here, 3 null values are there, I replace it by 0. Now I'm going to click on the invoke custom function, and the new column I want to create by the name of net salary. For that, I'm going to apply this function. In this function, I need to specify which column should I use it. Here you need to click on the drop down, use it as an argument, okay? And LOP is column name, and here I'm going to say LOP and advanced column name. Use the column name instead of manually typed value. I just hit OK now. Now it is perfect. If you see here, right, 44,000 we are getting, here 17,000, here 68,000, because there is no advance amount, hence the salary is high. Now you understood with the simple function how we saved a lot of time. So in this case, hardly we have 5. Let's assume that you have 50,000 employees. This function, this simple function, when you apply it, first you created the function, you tested it, everything is fine. And then you applied this function on top of this data set. So while applying this function, you made sure that what are the arguments that were required. So what are the arguments here? Parameters 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you need to map the respective columns to those parameters, and it did the calculations accurately in a matter of seconds. Even if you have 50,000 or 5 lakh employees, now you have created the function, you can share it to the people across the locations, so they can use your function. All they need to do is just go here, and I will show you one more time, guys, because you're all new one. I just remove this. So this is your given data set. And what I did, I want to use this function. I want to apply this function here, because only when I apply this function on this data set, I can get the net salary, because my net salary involves so many calculations. Okay, and what I do is I just click on the invoke custom function. And then here I'm going to say net salary. New column I have to create, right? This function, what it does is this function compute the net salary for each and every employee. The computed net salary for each and every employee, I need to store it in a column, isn't it? So for that purpose, I'm using net salary. Here the calculate salary. Here I'm going to, instead of using the decimal number, when you use decimal number, what will happen? You'll have to type the salary for each and every employee manually. And instead, I just map the column names for the corresponding parameter. Since I'm using these parameters, it is very dynamic. It picks up any value that are available in basic HRLOP, and then it returns it computes the net salary and gives whatever the formula that I mentioned, right? Based on which it computes the net salary it gives me. So this is how you can create the custom function. The custom function is helpful in terms of reusability. Once you create a function, create once, use it as many times as possible. Create once. So now I created only one time. I applied this function on this one, and the same function I'm going to apply it for another branch, right? So I just created once, but I'm going to use it, multiple times. That is also called as a user-defined function or custom function. So how do I apply this function to my dataset? Click on the invoke custom function first. So what are the steps involved? Create the function, custom function, and then test that function. Okay, and then next step is you need to apply this function or invoke the function, or you need to apply this function, or you need to use this function by applying it on your any data set. Okay, in this case, I select after creating the function, I have clicked on the employee salary data set, and then I clicked on the invoke custom function. There I mentioned the new column name first, which is net salary. And the second field, I'm selected the function name called calculate net salary. In this function, I have used the 4 parameter HRE, LOP, ADV, and basic HRE, LOP, ADV. So for those parameter, I have mapped these columns, the appropriate columns. Okay. Hence, it automatically pick up the values for each and every employee's basic HRE, LOP, advance amount, and then it computes the net salary, and then it returns for each and every employee here. This one, if you are a non-IT person, you have to watch my video, pause it, and practice it. Okay. There are certain things